Hey guys, my name is Lilly and today I want to bring you more news from Europe. So the first article that I want to show you today is this one, which is claiming that forests now might ignite themselves. So they are starting this article by saying that forest fires can be caused in dry summers by, for example, cigarettes that are getting thrown away. But then also they claim that here researchers are now searching for a possibility on how forests can ignite themselves. Yeah, I have to say, I don't think that forests can ignite themselves, because to actually light some wood,
you need at least 260 to 500 degrees Celsius.
So just because it's getting warmer, let's say in Greece, for example, when it has 40 degrees Celsius or 45 degrees Celsius, the forests do not ignite by themselves. And Greece is a country which is really warm and arid. It's very dry. It doesn't have a lot of rainfall in summertime. And I've read a lot of newspaper articles in the last 20 years. And every time they had a fire in Greece, for example, 100% of those fires were caused by arsonists. So it was a human cause and not a self-ignition. So I believe that the overwhelming majority of forest fires are caused by humans, whether it's by recklessness or some humans, they have psychological issues. They are paramaniacs, for example. And actually, I've met one. Yeah, it's no joke. I've met a paramaniac. So one time, I've called a company, a plumbing company, because I needed a pipe to be fixed. And then two guys came, and one of the guys was really awesome. We had a nice talk. And the second guy was really weird. So usually when I meet new people, I'm really good at, small talking. I talk to everybody. I usually instantly connect to most people. But this guy was really weird. So the cool and awesome guy left to get some materials, and the weird guy stayed at my home, at my garden. And I did not want to talk to him, so I went inside of the house and I had a bad feeling. So then they continued their work and fixed everything and they left. And about half a year later, I met this one plumber again, the awesome plumber. And then I asked him, how are you doing? And then he told me that his colleague is now in prison because he ignited 8 homesteads, I believe, or 7, 8 houses, some of them farmhouses. And every time he ignited those, he also called the police and said, he was there by accident. So then after the 6th or 7th time or 8th time, the police said, hey, it's weird that you're always here and that you're always helping to extinguish the fire and that you're always the first to report the fire. So this is how they caught the guy. And then, I think he admitted the crime and he went to prison. So some people, they are really, loco in their heads. So after I heard the story that he is now in prison, I was really shocked because this guy was also at my house. So there will always be forest fires because people will ignite them. And yes, in some regions, it's very far in the wilderness, but you also cannot forget that people have airplanes. I don't know how many pilots there are, but maybe a small percentage is a pyromaniac. And you never can forget that. Still, I believe that most fires are caused by recklessness. But I highly doubt that fires are self-igniting. I highly doubt that. So I've tried to make fire many times and it's not as easy. Of course, when it's dry and warm, it's easier. But self-ignition of wood, I don't think it's possible. They would like it to be possible because then it would fit the climate change agenda, of course. But yeah, I highly doubt that. So now I want to show you some other article, which is really interesting. So this is an old newspaper article from 1899. And it came from the newspaper Allgemeiner Anzeiger in Magdeburg, Germany. So here they are reporting about the mild winters a couple of hundred years ago. So here in this article they are saying that in 1229 there was growing flowers at Christmas. In 1241 the trees were in blossom in March. In 1287 the trees had new leaves in winter. In 1538 the gardens in December were in flower. In 1582 the trees in February were green already. In 1606, 1609 and 1670s there was no winter. In 1659 there was no snow and frost. In 1792 they did not heat the houses in January anymore and the trees were in blossom. In 1807 there was no winter. In 1816 and 1834 the winter was really mild. In 1861 they could play outside at the 27th of December, and after that there was a great cold so that the birds would leave again. 1873, 1882, 1897 it was a really mild winter. Also in 1916 there was a tornado in this region here, in this city where I'm living right now. So the city was partly destroyed. The factory here was destroyed and also a couple of houses. So pretty wild. We don't see a lot of tornadoes here in this region. Okay, next I want to bring you some news from Germany and how the industry is suffering. So now Volkswagen is in deep trouble. Apparently they have financial problems and now they are considering to close some plants and factories in Germany because of the costs. So they are considering to close one component plant and one car plant. And also they have to do some cost cutting, and the management has compelled to end the job security program. Yeah, this is really bad because of course Volkswagen is employing thousands and thousands of people. So there's a lot of workforce involved, and if they are closing down a plant, then a lot of people don't have work anymore. Also now 210,000 young Germans are leaving their country. And of those people, 75% actually have a university degree, which is either a bachelor or master degree. So yeah, that's really painful. So if the academics are leaving, you have a problem. Next, in Austria, more and more restaurants are closing. So this here is another case where a restaurant has closed down. And one reason for this is of course because the food prices are rising, and then you have less margin because you cannot charge too much for your food, of course, because nobody would come then. So you cannot, like I've seen prices now for a Wiener Schnitzel, you will pay like 20 euros. And that's really a lot of money. People at the same time are saving money and they go less and less to restaurants. So now the restaurants have higher prices but also less customers, and that's the reason why they are closing down. Next, here they are writing that for the first time in the history of modern humans, the birth rates are going down. Okay, I'm wondering what the cause of this could be. Next, in the European Union, they are now planning to go back to nuclear power. In the recent years, they have closed down 9 safe nuclear power plants in Germany. But now they have found out that this actually makes our grid very vulnerable, and that the green energy is not really as reliable, because when it's cloudy like today and maybe there's no wind, then you cannot make any energy, and then you need a backup plant like a nuclear plant or a coal plant or a natural gas plant to actually avoid a blackout. So now they are planning to go back to nuclear power. And further down in the article, they are now saying that the World Bank should finance the new nuclear power plants, but also the maintenance of the old ones. So that's really peculiar. I don't know why they are bringing in the World Bank and why the World Bank should finance this. So here they are stating that the capacity of nuclear plants should be threefold by 2050. So it really seems as if this is the revival of nuclear plants in Europe. Now next, there was an election in Germany. So they have elected in two very big regions in Germany, which is Thüringen and Sachsen. And it seems as if the young people are now voting right-wing, which is a little bit unusual because usually the youth in Europe has voted for left, social, maybe green agendas and parties. But now that has changed. So now the youth is voting for right-wing parties. Most of them, at least, 38%. So that's the majority. All right, so then there's also one last thing that I want to show you guys. So I was on holiday this year. I went to Sardinia, which is a great island belonging to Italy. Really awesome country. I love my Italian neighbors. They are the best cooks in the world. So I wanted to get away from this bad news. And then in the airplane, I was reading this magazine here. And then I was reading this here. There's just a really small section on this article here. And it's saying that which vaccines can we eat? There are 4 million people each year who get cholera and 140,000 people die of it. They have a vaccine against it. This one is expensive and must be cooled. So the question is, why is it so expensive? That's the first question. And here's the problem. People cannot get to this vaccine because of the cooling problem. Because of this problem and because of people cannot get this vaccine, the researchers now have manipulated rice. So they have changed the genes in the rice. So now that you get antibodies against cholera if you eat the rice. So it's a GMO rice, which is also a vaccine. And this rice doesn't need any cooling. So this is their unique selling proposition. They say, oh, because it's not needing any cooling, we now do it this way instead of giving everybody the pill to swallow. So yeah, really peculiar, I have to say. And I'm just wondering if they will tell people that this is a manipulated rice, GMO rice. Can people consent to this or not? What if people eat this rice and already have antibodies against cholera? So there's a lot of question marks. Also, what most people don't know is that actually rice is a grain, and grains, they always pollinate with the wind. So if there's a rice field with this GMO cholera rice, the wind can take the pollen and drag it onto other rice fields, and then those rice fields will incorporate the pollen, and then the rice will get contaminated with GMO, in this case cholera GMO. So what happens with that other rice on the other field, which is getting tainted with the pollen from this rice? That's something that I would like to know. So very, very interesting. Also, I would like to state that I'm not eating grains anymore because of those things. And because I'm doing so much better on the paleo diet. And the only thing that I'm eating when it comes to carbs is fruits and potatoes and roots. So I'm eating a lot of manioc, tapioca and potatoes, and I'm doing great on it. And the great thing about potatoes is that it's not really easily to be tainted with the wind, because it doesn't pollinate with wind Actually, potatoes are grown vegetatively. So the mother plant is genetically identical with the daughter plant. So make sure that you're getting GMO-free potatoes, heirloom potatoes, and you can get those at certified seed companies or at farmers markets. And sometimes in older communities, the older people are still growing old heirloom potatoes. Yeah guys, so this is it for today. I really want to thank you for watching. Some more news from Austria, Europe, Germany. So if you want to see more news videos, then make sure that you're subscribing to my channel. Also follow me on my Twitter account to get the real news. Thank you for watching guys, and stay tuned till next time.